Hey guys, it's Sydney, the Crab Queen. So in today's video, we're going to be talking about your highest self, what your higher self is, how to reach your highest self, how to talk to your highest self, just what it is in general, just everything you need to know about your higher self. First, what it is. We're gonna go over everything that you need to know about your higher self. Maybe you guys have heard of it, maybe you guys haven't, but if you have, you may not know exactly what it is. So I'm going to be telling you guys what it is and how it helps you, everything you need to know about it. And then after I explain all of that, we're going to get into how you can reach your highest self and how you can meet your highest self and how you can awaken your highest self. Everything you need to know about your higher self. So let's not waste any time. Let's just get right into the video. So basically, your higher self is just a higher version of yourself, a better version of you, a smarter version of you, but a very high energy. Your higher self is almost like a spirit guide, but it's you. So it does kind of what a spirit guide does, and what angels do, how they send you messages, and how spirit guides help you and guide you through life and put you on the right path in life. It's kind of like that, but it's you. It's your higher self. So before you came down to earth, you might have heard before, you planned this life. You planned everything that's going to happen, not everything detail for detail, every day for day, but the overall pictures of life, paths in life you go, the steps in life you take, the big things in life, the main courses of your life. That's what you plan. The people that you meet in life, the main people, boyfriends, girlfriends, you've had your family, your soulmates, your soul family. It's just everything like that you planned. Where you're gonna move, where you're gonna live, just everything like that. What kind of environment. So your higher self is what plans that life. Your higher self knows that you're supposed to be on earth right now to find lessons, to experience earth, to maybe teach people, to maybe experience things, to go explore. Just maybe your soul was bored and you wanted to take a trip to earth. So your higher self knows why you came down to earth, and your higher self plans that. Of course, your body and your mind don't remember planning this, but your higher self knows that it's there. Your higher self is here on earth, the soul that planned. You don't actually look like how you look like. Of course, you look like how you look, but before you came to earth, you didn't look like yourself. So your higher self has looked like other people before. Your higher self knows that you're just on earth right now. So your higher self is kind of like your soul. So for example, when you just know things, like you didn't really get it ever taught to you or explained to you, or the information that you just know things, your higher self got that information before your normal self did, before your body did, before your 3D self got that information. Your higher self got information. So when someone's telling you something and you might pick up that it's a lie, or maybe you already knew that but you didn't really know, like I just said, no one's ever explained to you but you just knew it, it's because your higher self has got that information. Your higher self catches on first, oh, that's a lie. Lets your normal self know that that was a lie. So your higher self knows things first, catches that information first. Your higher self is there to pick up on things and then pass it down to your normal self. Your higher self may know information that you don't know. Your higher self picks up on a lot of more things, catches the environment before you, the vibes. Sometimes you'll notice yourself even saying information you thought you never even learned. You'll just start speaking facts out of nowhere. And that's your higher self taking over and kind of saying the information for you. If your higher self knows that information, but your body here on earth doesn't really know that information, your higher self will take over and sometimes even speak for you. So if you've ever noticed yourself saying stuff that you never even learned before, that's definitely why your higher self is taking over and telling that information for you. So here on earth, we live on a 3D world. Everything is dimensional, and we can touch everything and pick everything up, and everything is coming at us like a 3D movie. We live in the 3D world. So on earth, we are able to go into the 2D world, the 3D world, and the 4D world. So the 2D world is maybe when you take a drug and your vibrations lower down and you get very maybe sad afterwards or even on it, if it's a lower type of drug, you notice yourself getting more sad afterwards, and that's because your vibrations have been lowered. Also, you don't have to take drugs to just go on a 2D world. When you get anxiety or when you get depression and you feel yourself getting very sad and not wanting to move and being stuck in bed laying all day, that is because your vibrations have been lowered and you are now in the 2D world. That is also where the bad spirits live, like demons and bad spirits, and then our angels and spirit guides live on the 5D world. So the 2D world is when you go and lower your vibrations, feel sad, everything like that. The 3D world is a normal world where we all live in and everything's normal and three-dimensional, and you can touch everything and it's just a normal world. And then the 4D world is when you are at a very high vibration, and that is usually when people are around crystals or after they get done meditating or journaling, doing spiritual work, stuff that higher people's vibrations, maybe eating healthier food, maybe going on a run, whatever higher your vibrations. After you meditate, you may notice yourself feeling a lot better, a lot lighter, a lot brighter, just a lot better in general, and that is when you get to reach your higher self. And usually afterwards you're not at your highest self you could ever be. You didn't meet that person yet. You're not living your higher self life yet. You can actually get into that body again and live like that. It just takes time, and I'll get to that. But after you meditate, you may notice yourself feeling better, and that's getting your higher self. You're almost at your higher self. You're reaching your higher self. You're on a different world now. You're maybe on the 4th dimension after you get done meditating. So that is kind of the 2D, 3D, 4D, how that all works. We're shifting into 5D, as you may have heard, because we're starting to become more conscious and aware. So that's a good thing. Your higher self also is the person in you that knows when something isn't good for you, when something bad is being offered to you. Your 3D self might be like, whatever, I'll take it. But if there's something in the back of your head that says no, that is your higher self being like, maybe we should not be doing that right now. You're being your higher self. Your higher self knows that that's not a good thing for yourself. That's not a good thing for you. Your higher self is the person that knows right from wrong. Without that higher self, you would just take up every opportunity you get, do everything, make a lot of mistakes, and go for the wrong things in life. And that's why a lot of people that are on the 2D world that do drugs and are depressed, they make a lot of bad decisions because their higher self is very far from them and they don't get to have that opinion anymore. So also, your higher self takes place when you have no energy and you feel like laying in bed all day and scrolling on TikTok and social media and just not going anywhere, and you're lazy and you don't want to do anything or be productive. There's something in you that is like, get up, do the dishes, take a shower, put on lotion, like meditate. There's something in you that still wants to do that, and that's your higher self. You're still your 3D self, maybe your 2D self, and you're sad in bed, and maybe you're just lazy and you don't want to get up, but there's something in you that wants to get up and do something and be productive. That's your higher self. Without your higher self, you wouldn't really want to do, like I said, a lot of good things. You just want to stick around and do all that lazy stuff. So your higher self really actually takes a lot of action in your life. It helps you reach your goals and get up and be productive and everything like that. So you guys have probably heard the term of be the bigger person, be the better person. Like maybe a fight's going on or just something like that is happening and someone needs to just be the bigger person and cut the fight or cut the argument or whatever's going on. Someone needs to just take action and be the bigger person. So the bigger person is actually your higher self. Someone needs to step into their higher self, talk to their higher self, and be their higher self. Someone needs to be the bigger person. Someone needs to be their higher self. So when someone says that to you, it's actually tapping into your higher self, reach your higher self, and know that that needs to be done. Be your higher self, be the bigger person, Stop being your 3D self for 1 second and be your higher self and be the bigger person. So sometimes you even hear voices in the back of your head when something's wrong or good, or when you shouldn't do something or when you should do something. I think I kind of already went over this, but when something, maybe a big thing is happening in life, maybe you're on a job interview and you're looking around saying, I don't really know if I want to do this, and there's just a voice in the back of your head saying, no, don't do this, don't do that. It's your higher self. Your higher self is letting you know that this isn't very good for your actual self. Your inner voice is also kind of your higher self. So listen to your inner voice because it's also you being your higher self. I have talked about getting downloads before, and that's kind of just pieces and bits of information being put into your head out of nowhere for no reason, and it's just downloads that you get throughout life and just random information that's being put into your head. So really, your higher self is getting that information. Your 3D self usually doesn't just get that information. So if you've never like meditated before and not really started your spiritual journey, you might not get that many downloads, but you'll notice after you start doing meditation and working on yourself and journaling, you start getting downloads of information, and that's because you're reaching your higher self, and your higher self gets to get downloads of information in your brain. So you're tapping into your higher self as you're getting downloads, and you're able to do that. So really, when you're getting pieces and bits of information into your brain, your higher self is getting that information and then putting it into your brain, kind of pushing it down into your 3D brain and being like, okay, this is for you, this is a message for you. So sometimes when we're talking and we don't really know what to say anymore and we don't know the answer to certain questions, sometimes we have to literally let go of ourselves and just let our higher self take over. And this really takes time and practice. You can really just let yourself let go and let your higher self take over, and your higher self can start having conversations with other people. Chances are your higher self knows the answers to a lot of questions that your normal 3D self doesn't, your normal earth self doesn't know. So you can actually let your higher self take over and start talking for you, and that's actually a very hard kind of thing to do. Eventually you'll be able to reach that once you become a master at meditation and manifesting and spiritual work and just everything like that. You can let your higher self take over. Sometimes you'll even notice when you're talking to other people, usually spiritual people, it seems like they have a lot of information just coming out, and they seem like they have a very high vibration, very drawn to them, and you seem like they're very detailed, and you feel like they're very smart and like they just know a lot of things. And sometimes when they're talking, you'll feel like they are just spitting a lot of very factual information, like they are some sort of very, almost like a parent or an authority figure, just like talking very maturely and speaking very influential facts. So that might even be their higher self taking over and talking for them, because a lot of the time spiritual people, when they know how to do that, they'll start tapping into that and start letting their higher self take over when they are teaching or just when they are talking in general. So now we're going to talk about how we can reach our higher self, know that they're there, and how we can let them take over, and just how we can start to tap into our higher self. So first of all, you just need to know that they are there. You need to know that your higher self is there. You need to become aware of your higher self, and now you are. So that's a good first step. You just need to know that your higher self are there and who they are. So you kind of just have learned about that. So that is a good first step. Now you know who they are and that they're there, and it's you and you're just higher self. So that's a very good thing. Now you know what that is. Another good way to communicate with your higher self is to talk to yourself, because when you're talking to yourself, you're actually talking to your higher self. You could also be talking to your lower self, but it's usually your higher self, unless you are hearing negative thoughts answer you, like hate, like calling yourself ugly. When you're looking in the mirror and you hear negative feedback about yourself, that's usually your lower self answering you. But when you're just talking in general, and it's usually your higher self answering, or when you hear very nice compliments about yourself, that's usually your higher self. That is your higher self. So you could start talking to yourself even when you're just doing small things around the house. You could start saying things like, oh, we're going to do this, or we are going to go to the store, even if it's just you, because then when you're talking to yourself, you could be like, oh, we're gonna go to the store today, it's gonna be fun. You know, you're talking to you and your higher self, and that is a very good thing to do. That's another good way how to tap into your higher self and let your higher self know that you're there, because once you let your higher self know that they're there, then your higher self will want to start communicating with you more. So yeah, start talking to yourself. Say things like, we are, let's do this. Like, just say things like you're with another person, but you're actually just with yourself. So your higher self is pretty much just like a smarter you. So if you ever need a genuine answer to something, just really close your eyes and tap into your higher self and see what your higher self has to say about it, because your higher self is a smarter version of you. So of course, the main way how to tap into your higher self is to meditate and do spiritual work. When you are meditating, your vibrations are getting higher and higher and higher, and guess what? Then you turn into your higher self as you are meditating, because after you're done meditating and you open your eyes, that is your higher self right there. You'll notice a very big energy shift and change after you're done meditating, or when you're in the middle of meditating, and things just become a lot open and better after you're done meditating, and that's because your higher self has been awakened. So that's a really good way how to reach your higher self. Drawing and painting is also a very good way. Your higher self does kind of take over when you're doing that. When it's just so beautiful and you don't really even know what you just drew, you kind of just let yourself draw and see where it takes you. When you do that, that's your higher self taking over. So that's a really good way how to communicate with your higher self. Let your higher self in. You could also listen to music. That's your higher self really enjoying the music, because music puts you on a higher dimension. Not if it's like bad music, like talking about death and drugs, like that's kind of puts you actually at a lower thing. So next time you're listening to a good song that puts you at a high vibration or just makes you happy in general, see what your higher self has to say about that and react and see how you feel afterwards, because listening to music just can put you at your higher self. Also, listening to good music brings out your higher self. So drawing, painting, music, writing your feelings and thoughts down really helps you learn about your higher self. Because once you write your thoughts down, your higher self kind of becomes awakened, especially your thoughts down, like very strong thoughts you have and thoughts that just stick with you. Writing them down is very helpful how to reach your higher self and how to start communicating with your higher self, because your thoughts are usually coming from your higher self. So once you start writing that down, it really becomes awakened and you'll start to feel better after you write your thoughts down. And that's because you let that off your chest and you let that off your head, and it really just awakens your higher self. And then also, you could be using crystals to awaken your higher self. There's a lot of crystals, especially selenite. Selenite is the crystal that lets the higher energies in. So I like to have this around when I'm doing like a tarot reading or something, because a lot of high energies are attracted to selenite, especially your higher self. So if you have a piece of selenite around, it could help your higher self just naturally come out, and it helps your higher self actually talk. I like to have it when I'm around making these videos too, because my higher self gives me more information, more downloads at good times and certain things to say at certain times. So yeah, maybe you could use crystals. It doesn't have to be just selenite. Amethyst, rose quartz, any crystal really just awakens your higher self. I like to use selenite the most when I'm trying to communicate with my higher self, but if you don't have selenite and you just have any crystals, crystals are just a very good way. If you want to wear something around your neck, that's a good way to awaken your higher self. Also, you could just simply tune in to your higher self. You could close your eyes and just talk to your inner self and your higher self and say, hello, higher self, I'm here. Like, do you have any information you need to tell me? Do you have anything you want to say? Like, how are you doing? Just have a conversation with yourself, because when you have a conversation with yourself, that's your higher self. If you notice negative things starting to be said in the conversation you're having with yourself, that's your lower self, and break free from that. And you can try again later when you're feeling better. But if it's only good things and it's just a normal conversation, or it's an even uplifting conversation, then that's you communicating with your higher self. So just tap into your higher self. If you ever need to just know random pieces of information at certain times of the day, you can close your eyes, kind of sit calmly for a sec and be like, higher self, what do I need to know right now? What do I need to hear right now? Like tarot cards, how you go through the cards and get answers, you can also do that with your higher self just by tapping into it. So yeah, you could just really simply tune into your inner self and your higher self and just try to have conversations. Like I said, might as well give it a go. And then also, once your higher self is awakened, you can notice yourself feeling better about yourself and having more confidence. But I just want to let you guys know that it is not the same thing as your ego. So don't let yourself get confused with your ego and your higher self. Maybe you're in an argument with somebody and you don't want to lose and you don't want to be wrong, or maybe you think that you're prettier than everyone else in the entire room. That's an ego. That's your ego getting in the way. Your higher self would not put you at something like that. Your higher self would kind of want to lose the fight, so you can be the higher self, the bigger person. And then also, you thinking you're the prettiest person in the room or the best looking person in the room, that wouldn't be your higher self, because your higher self would think everyone is equally as beautiful as you and everyone is a beautiful soul. So don't let your ego get in the way and confuse you with your higher self, because your higher self is not the same thing as your ego. So I think I pretty much covered everything about the higher self that I could think of. I hope that you guys kind of have a better understanding about what a higher self is now and how you can tap into it and how you get to know your higher self and I hope you guys really take this chance and opportunity and all this information and really put it to use and really tap into your higher self and actually do the things that I taught you guys, because I really want you guys to be able to do this and tap into your higher self. So I hope you guys know what your higher self is, just in general, even if you want to give it a little bit of time to tap into. I hope you guys just know what it is now, and your higher self, you have a better information of it. So yeah, it's kind of like a spirit guide and a spirit, except it's you and you are your higher self. So I hope you guys liked this video, and comment down below some new video ideas for me to do, and I will talk to you guys soon. And I hope this video really helped you. Let me know if it did. Also, I am going to start reading tarot cards for people, doing personal readings, and I'm also going to be doing personal manifestations for people. If they need an extra boost or spells for people, you just have to DM me, and my Instagram is crabqueen111. On Instagram, just DM me and we'll have a little conversation about it, what you need to be done if you want a spell, manifestation, or tarot reading. I do tarot readings about anything that you want, love, career, general, or future, anything that you want. Just DM me the information, and yeah, I would love to help you guys out, and I hope this video helped you, and I will talk to you guys soon. Bye.